Hey, and we're live. Look at that.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, today in our I forgot the fourth live stream of the Locked in My challenge, we have Hunter, who is in suit, and he's
Yep.
here to present about utilizing like AI agents and like Cloudbot to like automate your daily workflow. And without further ado, Hunter, go on and introduce yourself.
Yeah. So I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. It says some stuff on the board. I run the technical stuff over at LockedIn, and gonna go ahead and give a presentation covering some of the AI agents. A little bit of an intro on what agents are first, and then go into a little bit more deep technical use cases on them. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then
Yeah. I went ahead and prepared a pretty easy slideshow. I wouldn't say this is too complicated. Um, so today I was at the Louisville Regional Science Fair presenting some of my work for cold email systems with AI and their results. So that's why I'm all dressed up now, but just coming back, going to give a little overview, and actually was able to squeeze together a little slideshow while I was there. So that's basically it. And one of the cool, like, best parts about AI agents is the ability to where it can automate so much stuff to the extent to where, right, automate your life. I think there's really some cool pieces of that. If we want to go ahead and pop over to the next slide, I can give a cool
yep.
little anecdote. So what I want to start with here actually is the thing I tell most people when I introduce them to AI agents. And it's like, how is this different than ChatGPT? What does it mean for me? Why do I need it? Right. And just to explain a little bit of the difference here, right? You'll talk to something like ChatGPT, and what happens, you send a prompt, right? Everyone's talking prompt engineering, whatever it is, and you'll get a response back. Okay, great. You go, hey, can you go book a reservation at this restaurant? It says, no, I can't because you have to call. Here's the phone number, right? That's super helpful. That's great. The difference though with agents, so right with the LLMs and ChatGPT and stuff, it has this input output loop. But what's really cool about agents is it's based on the environment. So it'll get its own queries and its own data based off what needs to happen next. So in the same instance, right, where you go have your agent instead go, reach out to this restaurant for a reservation, what happens when it gets to the restaurant's page and it realizes, hey, look, you know, um, we need to get a reservation at the restaurant, but you have to call in. It's like, all right, well, what's the next step then? Okay, well, now we have to call in. So it's able to actually go out, download voice software, and then call the restaurant, right? So that's that next level of where it's able to have that extra level of thinking and planning out what's next, and then how can it iterate on that. So that's like such a powerful thing because people don't believe me when I tell them that. They're like, oh my goodness, you mean to tell me my AI agent can go out and just like make decisions on its own and then spit all this stuff back? So just to give a little bit on the background and distinction between the two, so we can flip over to the next part as well. Um, yeah, so in the agent space, the one that's taken off the most recently is OpenClaw. So OpenClaw being a AI agent that is almost like a framework that you can then plug in different types of brains. What I mean by that is, for instance, in the AI agent example, imagine you can like it basically has the framework, the skeleton, and you can plug it in with your if you want to use Claude, if you want to use ChatGPT, if you want to use Gemini, if you want to run some of your own local models, it's able to use that for the reasoning, and then just use the OpenClaw framework as like guidance on, hey, look, you can message me here, all the different pieces that come with that. So just to give some examples, when you interact with your agent, you do it through an MCP. This can be like through the local host, or actually what it can also be is through Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessage, where you're just able to text your agent and it's able to spit out a result for you just there. So that's built in through the OpenClaw framework, which say you're like, hey, let me make my own agent. That's not always going to be necessitated. I've spent a lot of time myself in the OpenClaw communities, talking with the people, working with some of the devs, just hearing what they thought of the space. It's just genuinely been super like in terms of community, it's been very unified and like driven towards this goal of having AI just become more powerful, right? So again, just back onto OpenClaw as a whole thing, it's become one of the most starred GitHub repos, and that might sound like what does that mean immediately, right? Tech frameworks like React have taken like really long time, several years to amass so many stars on GitHub, which is, a platform where they share code. And just in the past, literally like month, OpenClaw, since it was created, it was able to just jump completely past all of them, right? The hype around this was so huge. Everybody was posting about how they're making tens of thousands of dollars a month with their OpenClaw AI employee on their Mac Mini, right? I have my Mac Mini right here, and I'm not making $10,000 a month yet. That's the next part. But it's with the agent use cases, what you're able to do though is plug in OpenClaw and connect it to a bunch of different things. You're able to connect it to, right, like the messages to message it, but hey, I can also give it data on the notes on my device, right? It can look at the files, it can look at some of my code, it can look at my GitHub, I can have it signed in and all these different things. It can read my email every day. I gave my OpenClaw my Twitter API key, and now it's able to read Twitter for me every day and then give me insights on what I should post about based off what was the top topics on Twitter. Like, that's really cool, right? Something I do want to say is a lot of times with this amount of hype that comes along is people just jump on the hype train. And while that's great, is when we're jumping on the hype train, we have to realize coming with that, we need to understand why we're on the train, right? Is it just because we have this big idea but not really anything solid and fundamental? What I mean by that, again, just to dive even deeper here, is what are you trying to automate, right? Is your life something that's automated? I mean, if you're going out there and working on roofs every day, I don't know how an AI software is going to be able to help you out much, right? But if you're
Mm,
building programs and you really spend a lot of time integrated on your system, you want something that can go and check what homework you have and then send you a summary, right? It tells you every day when your assignments are due. Or like, it like starts screaming at you when you have late assignments. It's like, responsibility or, a little coach for you that way. So many different ways to plug it in and use cases, but just to cover some of the basics with it, with that one, we can pop over to the next slide as well, which should be a little bit more specific. So yeah, the use cases, like I was just touching on with the example, what I found really interesting is there are a few ways where you can actually use this to make money. And this has been published all over X, some of these different social media platforms. Um, I'd like to break it down into two types of ways. Okay. When you're in a marketplace, you're either creating value or you're extracting it. The examples I like to give here is you build something like a product and you sell the product, and that's great. Or you're taking money, for instance, like in the stock market, right? You're trying to trade stocks, you're buying stuff, and using that inference layer and thinking to be able to plug it all together. I found it's actually a little bit interesting on where OpenClaw is the best here because it's really good at these automated tasks that require a decent amount of knowledge and thinking that goes into it. So it's really come down to um, basically repetitive tasks, which trading falls under most of the time, right? You can have it go check Polymarket, whatever it is, and just make those mathematical decisions for you while you sleep. Super, super cool. One of the use cases I want to experiment more with coming up is what I was able to set up on my OpenClaw. I hooked it up to my GitHub, I hooked it up to my Vercel, and then I also hooked it up to some like file in Cloud Code and stuff, right? So what it's able to do is it's able in one sentence to create a GitHub repo, deploy to Vercel, and publish to a domain. And it's like, wait a minute,
yeah.
you mean to tell me I can have an entire published website in one sentence? That's where you can start, producing some value there. So the opportunity is maybe you have it set up to where every morning it scans something like Fiverr, right? And it looks for people who are charging this to create websites. And then you have your agent go out and make a Fiverr account where it's charging less for other people's websites. And because it's able to do it on its own, you just have like so many different freelancing bots that are working for you that are able to service people autonomously, which is like that's super, super cool. And it's again so valuable to the people because it's like, hey, look, I'll charge you $5 and I can give you a full-fledged website for your company to demo, right? That's huge. One of the bigger trends actually we're going to see here is companies specifically in some of the agency space where they're going to be able to send over their finished product and then have you buy it. So for instance, if I'm selling websites, now it's gotten so I guess commoditized in a sense, right? All it's like websites aren't worth as much now because it doesn't take as much effort and it's come to like a market price. What's able to happen though is I'm able to make an entire website, send it over to you, and say, hey, look, this is what we made. What do you think? If you want it, I'll give you the whole thing for $500. If they say no, no big deal. It took me no time. but it's so much more convincing. It's not, hey, I'll make you a website for $500. It's here's one that I'll give you right now. Just in terms of the value formula, what it looks like, and Hormozy mentioned this in his $100 million offers book, it's likelihood of achieving times the perceived value. So if you can say, hey, look, the perceived value is already there, and the chance of achieving is 100% because you already did it, pretty good value, right? And that's going to be over tossed of time and effort, as well as some other stuff for the, how it ends up actually dividing out, multiplication and then division. But it's like, whoa, that's really cool on that side. So in terms of use cases, if you're really just trying to automate your life, to go back to more of the topic on the presentation, it's drilling down on what do you do every day, like basically just keeping a list of, hey, this is what I did. You're just going to realize the amount of things that you do that could definitely be automated or even a waste, right? Just there are a lot of people in the self-help, self-development space that'll just say, look, write down what you do, and you're going to realize that you have more time than you think. If you're like, okay, well, I'm on my phone for 15 minutes and then I go do something productive, then I'm on my phone for 15 minutes. It's like, wait, that's still some time. And you might be like, oh, well, I didn't have any time in the world to read. It's like, yeah, well, you had some time there. So using that as an activity to pull stuff together certainly helps, not just to get an idea of what you can automate, but some of the other pieces in terms of where you can actually save time in your own life. So super, super powerful there. The other thing with it, I'm forgetting, but basically for me, I was able to realize, hey, look, I spend a lot of my time every day, right? 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock at school, come home, work on some programming stuff, finish my homework and go to bed. Doesn't sound too automated, right? There's not, it might be like, oh, what are you gonna do? Automate going to school? And it's like, honestly, maybe. But because then even you break up school into different things and it's like, okay, well, I have philosophy class and we're working on this project. And how much of that could an AI agent do? Like realistically, it's like, whoa. In spirituality, we all were listening to music that our class picked out and then to turn it all into a Spotify playlist. And that might be a hard task for an LLM to do, or a hard task for a human to do in terms of just time, not necessarily complexity. And we'll see these things that are just high in time but low complexity that are, repeatable. Immediately, the perfect thing to send your AI agent, right? I could be in spirituality class and we're talking about these songs, and I'm able to just give it to my AI agent Marcus, right? That's what I named him, and just be like, hey, look, these are all the songs. Put them in a playlist and share it with everybody in the class. And it's going to be able to realize, okay, well, who's in the class? Let me check your Schoology page, right, where all my classes are, and who's in the spirituality class, what are the members, click on all their accounts, get their emails, and send it over. It's like, that's crazy. And then also, what this is going to change a lot of other industries, because we're seeing this. A lot of it is software had this. What I'm trying to say is there are software tools to help you automate things, N8N, Zapier, and those actually will work great 9 times out of 10, and actually sometimes even better than AI agents would, just in terms of repeatability and workflows. But there are a lot of software companies where they're literally at some level of Claude skill, right? They have no inherent value beyond, like, as software becomes so much easier to be built with these AI agents, LLMs, and everything else, we're going to see this huge shift in value for softwares.
Definitely, yeah.
So just something I wanted to throw out there because I find that really interesting. And it actually, from the last live stream I did with Jen and Ben, with Jeff Erickson and Rich Robinson, right? Yeah. We talked about maybe the marketable asset actually is going to be not, hey, look, I have a degree at whatever, but I have this fleet of 5 AI agents that are perfectly trained on all this data. So you might be hearing, oh, automate your life. Well, honestly, you could just set up businesses that run themselves, and that becomes the marketable asset, right? And then you have it learn from doing. Your AI agents are able to go out and learn all of this stuff, and then it's able to get fed back. For instance, in the example I gave with Fiverr, right? Let's say you have your AI agent. It's really good at making websites. You have it create an account on Fiverr to sell websites for like $5 or whatever it is, right? And through that, it's going to end up developing the better, like through feedback from the people who are like, hey, I want to tweak this on the website, right? It's going to realize what it wants and be able to spit out the best results every time. To where then me, if I wanted to go to a company and say, hey, look, I have a really good web development agent I can let you use, right? It's not me working for them. It's me giving them my agent, which is like nothing you do is bound by your time. It's bound by, what your agent can do in that same amount of time. Again, doesn't sleep, doesn't, really cost anything except electricity and API costs if you're using one of the Claude models, ChatGPT, instead of a local model you run yourself. And then, so yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to hit on the use cases. But if we want to hit the next slide, I don't know if there's anything after that.
That's it. That's it, Hunter.
Yeah, and I know I was going here pretty quick, so I don't know if you have any questions, Jan.
Yeah, definitely. So actually I got quite a few for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Mhm. First one is like right now everyone's, yes, you mentioned, is into CloudBot, and I've asked around. I'd love to install one. So wait,
Hmm.
Hunter, I actually have this ready.
Oh, actually, it's awesome. Is that like a separate device or?
Yeah, separate Mac that I haven't been using, and it's like basically my old Mac.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wondering if like that is good enough to open
Yeah,
cloud.
exactly. Like as long as it's completely separate, that you shouldn't have any problems with the software or the hardware.
Mm,
9 times out of 10, when the hardware is going to matter is when you want to start running these local models. So, for instance, if you're familiar with like Claude Opus or some of the really strong models by these companies, you can actually now buy like 500 gigabytes of RAM and run an open source model that's pretty close. Now,
mm.
500 gigabytes of RAM is a lot of RAM,
It's
right?
crazy.
So
Yeah.
that's when you start like building out your own, like getting Mac Studios, right, instead of Mac
Okay.
Minis, and it's able to run those models for you and just save on the API cost, the token cost that you'd be paying to Anthropic, ChatGPT, OpenAI,
Mm,
wherever. So yeah, I would say the setup for OpenClaw is a little bit difficult to get started, actually, but genuinely, it's probably worth it. I would just say before you jump in, understand what am I trying to do, right? You understand the power of it. What are you going to do? And again, this might be something you can shoot over to an LLM like Claude, ChatGPT that you use frequently and knows a lot about you, and you should be like, hey, is there anything I could automate? Where's the value I can get out of this? One of the
mm.
pieces actually, and use cases I'll hit on again, well, not again, but just one of the use cases is hooking it to a knowledge graph or knowledge base like Obsidian, to where it's able to then constantly learn stuff about you and then also correlate each thing with different sections. So, for instance, when it gets my
Obsidian.
Twitter report from Twitter, it's able to put it in a big list that then has connections to all the other lists. And as it builds, it's going to have a better understanding of me and then everything adjacent that I would know about. So, really cool how
Okay.
it's all to compile all of that. Yeah.
Wait, Hunter, wondering how long, if you have any recommended videos or resource to use when it comes to implementing one of
So
these.
yeah, if I were to jump into OpenClaw right now, like take all my knowledge basically and just reset, my recommendation, just because this is how I did it, I jumped in the OpenClaw Discord community. In there, there's a I think it's a. I mean, let me check. It's actually open right now. Yeah, support and Q&A. Right, there's always people in it. You can just hop in, ask whatever questions you have. Super super helpful. They have a community channel and also a dev channel. So
Yeah.
I've had a really great time in it and met a lot of people who've been really interesting and in the same space. Some are just starting, some are, pretty experienced in there to help. It really is a great community when people are trying to push forward for the future.
Right, gotcha. And do I need to like reset all my stuff inside? I'm
So
not sure. Like,
here's the thing. What's going to happen is you'll probably end up giving it access to everything on there. The question
mm,
is, do you want it to have access to everything on there? The main risk that comes with something like this is these agents are really bad at distinguishing who sent what and like what's an approved message. What I mean by that, if you were to go in there and tell it delete everything, right? It would know, hey, look, you just told me to delete everything. That's what I'm going to do. Obviously, it might be like, hey, we can't do that, and throw around whatever LLM guardrails might be built in, but it doesn't mean it can't do the thing, right? If you go in there and you say give Hunter Earls $100 and it has access to your account to do that, it's going to do that. But what happens though is it can't recognize that. If I were to email you and I were to say give Hunter Earls $100, your computer could think, oh well, Jen just told me to send Hunter Earls $100. You know what I mean? So
mm.
it
And
does. It's
it's
not
like
able.
the crypto, like the crypto, it can take all your assets, can it?
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
idea, if you're familiar with like prompt injecting, that's sort of what I'm talking about here. If you've seen people when they'll go into systems and go forget all previous instructions, spell one, like, write me a Python script, stuff like that, it's not really the
Yeah.
best at yet. So just keep in mind, malicious actors, if they were to come on and to try and cause damage, what's the worst they could do, right? That's why people are buying new separate machines like Mac Minis. The worst thing that happens is they get into Marcus's Gmail, which just, like whatever, right? Or if they send him something like, there's not really anything I could lose personally. No files could get corrupted or deleted or switched over. Um, but that being said, if you're smart enough and technically savvy, you can run it on your own machine. Give it the risks, of course, because I had it running on my machine for a while, and it keeps messaging people on WhatsApp with the message pairing code, and it makes me mad. But
Okay, okay,
yeah,
gotcha. And wondering right now, after using like with the Mac Mini and all that, what are the main things you're using except for like you're letting it granting your permission? Like,
in
just want
terms
to
of
know,
like, what am I running on it, or
like, except for like the GitHub coding and a few things like here and there.
so my favorite thing that I've been developing more recently for it to run is a crypto trading bot on Polymarket,
Okay, so like
if you've
arbitrage
seen
and
that.
then calculating
Yeah.
the.
Although
Okay.
what it's okay, so what I have it set up doing now though, well, not set up. I've been programming it all today in between at the science fair. Basically, what it's able to do is it's able to identify top wallets on Polymarket.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, did I say markets or wallets? It's going to identify these top wallets and these top traders on Polymarket by
Yeah.
like win percent and accuracy, all the different metrics where it's like this is a really good trader. It's able to find all of them and then also track. And it's like, hey, look, this person bet on this at this time. Let me try and get it for the same price. And
So
it's
it's
like,
like
wait,
copy trading basically.
exactly. Yeah, it's able to copy trade for me automatically off the top like 20 wallets on Polymarket. Or when not top 20, not necessarily by this guy had 5 bets that won and that made him way too much money, but top wallets is in, hey, look, this guy has consistently won and he's done it, across these metrics. And
Yep,
then when
yep.
it's copy trade, it's also able to reference, hey, look, they bought it for 5 cents. Now it's 30 cents. It's not really worth it, right? Because they were able to get such a better deal. But hey, they bought it for 5 cents and now it's 7 cents. That's a reasonable difference, right? So things like that,
Gotcha, gotcha.
just as an extra piece. And so as I do that more, it'll be really cool to see it be able to trade for me, and possibly end up with a pretty significant winning streak and pay itself off, right? I was at the Apple store actually when I was buying it, and I was talking to some of the employees, and one of them told me, he goes, "Yeah, there's this guy who came in 2 weeks ago and he bought one, and he said he was setting it up for crypto trading. He came back in the next week and bought 5 more." Like, wow. Um, so there's some money to be made in the space. Whether there's any opportunity left, I'll see. At the very least, I'll end up enjoying it and having learned something. From when I did have it paper trading, I made 2 trades that went up like $6.40 on a 200 budget. So it was like 3%, but I think it only really risked like 10. So pretty solid return from what I initially tested. I put it on 5 minute crypto as well, and it performed about +3, +4% over an hour. Um,
Oh
didn't
yeah,
leave it much.
Hunter, for the 5 minute market one, I did a little look, and
Yeah.
go on one is like the Binance or like a big CX like the dashboard, and second one there's like a, I forgot what API, but there's one API you can link, and you can it's like 4 steps. I can send it to you
I
afterwards.
think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Because the Binance API is the best one to even use, though, for getting the real time coin data.
And then like there's like one is like behind the metrics, and you can see like who bought in, who bought out, and then there's like a difference between the Binance data and the that one data.
Yeah. 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 That's exactly. And that's where you arbitrage. Exactly. So that was one of the
And,
other things I was looking at. For these bots, just to give a little bit of background of what I found was really interesting, is it depends on what programming language you write them in. Right now, I'm pretty sure all my stuff's in Python, but Python, it has like 140 millisecond delay. But if you write in a language like Rust, it's 30 milliseconds.
mm,
Take this all with a grain of salt, but it makes more sense actually, especially in a quick trading market like 5 minute crypto, where that 100 milliseconds is actually a really big deal. The difference that it makes sense to program your whole thing in Rust. Um,
gotcha. Oh yeah, Hunter, want to know, is there any extra cost in using credits for CloudBot?
so in terms of it, just eats through Claude code or Claude APIs and stuff. It genuinely can get expensive. So just use some of the lower models. I'll use Haiku, which is like the cheaper one from Anthropic. But again, if you need some of the higher reasoning, you're going to want to be paying for the more expensive ones. So again, not cheap, but if it ends up saving you a lot of time, it can easily be justified.
Can I know if, for example, for me, I don't really want to like put money inside it. Is there like a way to just test like the free version or?
For the Claude Code
Yeah,
or
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
like to use the brain. So it's a $5 minimum to use their APIs. What is
Oh,
available is going to be the open source models because they're free, but they run on your device. Like I was saying, right? I ran an open source model on my computer. It worked completely horribly. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it was at 100% for like 15 minutes to respond to one question, right?
mm, gotcha. So there's not much
So
meaning doing that.
yeah, it's not really worth it unless you have a dedicated machine. I think I saw Alex Finn, who's big in the agent space recently. He has like 400K on X. He bought a Mac Studio for like thousands of dollars, and it's running Claude level, Claude Opus level open source, saving him like hundreds of dollars a day, which becomes worth it at that time. But
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think Cloudbot definitely. Oh yeah, Hunter. Also, you and Mikey check out the workshop next Wednesday.
oh,
We
sweet.
got the workshop with Ayan, and he's going to go through like we probably need like two moderators with you guys
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
that'd be great.
And yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, Rayan got a question in the chat. It's
Oh, Rand's in the chat. That's awesome.
what is your opinion on quantized model? I have no what
No VRAM, virtual RAM.
of virtual RAM. Okay.
Let me look this. Let me ask my agent so I can.
Wait, Hunter, wondering if you mind sharing your screen and then demoing how Cloudbot works.
Yeah. Let me pop it up here. So I have my AI agent Marcus, and I have him through Telegram for my messages.
Wait, how do I? Let me just see. How do I add that? Replace
I
screen
should be able to
share.
share my screen. Yeah.
Oh, add to scene. Okay.
So yeah, there's some other messages here, but can I?
Let me just enlarge this. Yep.
Let me blow this up. So yeah, just to respond to you, Rayon, quantized models are going to be your best friend right now. Yeah. That's at least what Marcus was saying. So I'll chirp over at Marcus some stuff. He's actually what's really cool is if you have something like Claude Code, if you have something like the agent already set up, you can use it to help work on your agent. So in the sense that when I was working on setting up my OpenClaw instance, I had Claude Code open, and I said, "Hey, I'm working to download and install OpenClaw. Can you help me work through it?" And that's exactly what it did. And it actually worked really well because it had access to the folders that OpenClaw was living in.
Mm.
And it worked great. So that's my recommendation. If you have Claude Code, if you have something that can get access to your files and give a agentic LLM overview, super helpful. Just gonna save some time on that end. At least that's how it worked for me. I have it set up through Telegram. I can ask him questions. He can run tools for me. The computer just looks like it's completely off, but it's just the monitor, and he's able to run in the background, which is super, super sweet. I'll see if I can find something cool that I had him do recently. Can you make? I don't think Marcus. I think it's. I don't think it's Marcus Freeman. I think it's. Regardless. Yeah. Basically, I was having it read on Polymarket, and it was like, "Hey, I can't trade without you approving it." I'm like, "Well, that's stupid." So.
By the way, Hunter, make sure if you use Telegram, don't trust anyone. So like a lot of the people who they DM you is just scammers. Like
Oh, I know,
90.
100%. Telegram's been a really, really big, like, I guess, cesspool, if I can say that. I don't know if that sounds right. Just as a whole, the community there's really different. The only thing I'm in for it is a Polymarket group that I ended up joining just to see what other people were on the trading piece. And then I was thrown in these other things, which is just like, what the heck? But
And then Ben asked, "Can you make Marcus sound like Marcus Friedman?"
Oh,
So this is like the AI agent, basically,
yeah, this
Marcus.
this is it. Marcus is the AI agent. I can have him do whatever I want. It's set up through a bot through Telegram. Ah,
Nah, he's Marcus, man.
it also has context on the agent system that I was working on. So it literally plugged in the idea of quantitative models on that, which is pretty cool. So with AI agents, actually, I want to hit on this. I'll pop the screen next. That's basically about it. Oh, on that end is what did I say? Yeah, so they have different files, and the structure for agents is pretty interesting. But I'll see actually if I can have a Cloud Code instance pull this up because that'd be pretty sweet. Find my open files. So basically, they'll have files like soul.md and a few other ones, which are basically just like the rules on that they live on, which is made through OpenClaw. Like when you install it, it gives you certain amounts, and it like develops an identity over time, and you're able to actually edit it. Like I was able to put in, hey, my name is Marcus. I am Hunter's agent. I do everything he wants. These are his goals, and it's able to keep everything centric around your goals and what you want to achieve. Super, super unique thing. And that's really why I was able to take off and get so much attention immediately. Let's see, I went ahead and put Cloud Code on, wait, can I?
Wait, Hunter, right now, would you recommend Claude or GPT? I'm planning on getting one of the subs.
So that's a good question, actually. Personally, might be a little bit biased here. Actually, I'm gonna pop this up real quick, just as this is running, to give some of my thoughts more statistically than anecdotally, if that
Yep.
makes sense. What I always like checking out is lmarena.ai, or well, now it's just named arena.ai, but I'll check out the leaderboard, which is right here. So it has the whole point of arena.ai is that you're able to send a message and a chat and have two AIs basically work to solve it, and then you pick the best response. And from that, it ends up building out a leaderboard of the top models. So man, they're making me do a security verification. But you can see in the background here for text, right? Claude Opus is number one. For code, Claude Opus is number one. GPT 5.4 Codex, I'm pretty sure, came out recently. So I don't know if that's immediately gotten ranked. But just as a whole, though, these GPT models have been ranking towards the bottom of all of them while Claude's been on top. So I
Mhm.
personally have a Claude Max subscription. Costs a little bit, I'm
How
gonna be
much is
honest,
it?
but it's $100 a month is what I pay. There's a $200 a month version that has more usage. I haven't had an issue with the usage. Um, let's see which one was the. So yeah, it has soul.md, identity.md, basically all these different things which you're able to edit directly and it's able to keep consistent memory. One that's really interesting is heartbeat.md. These are things that you're going to have it do on a cycle. So for instance, every morning at 8 a.m., I want you to do this. That's when I have it go out and check, Twitter and read the stuff. Uh, right before I go to bed, I want you to send me a text about whatever, right? So there's some cool stuff there. Tools, you can use some tools, right? Hooking in with some different things, Google Docs, whatever. I actually was able to hook it up to, I think it was like Google Forms, Google Docs, whatever. No, I had it. Yeah, I had it on Google Forms, and I had it make an entire form for me, right? That's pretty cool to be able to get that infrastructure set up where you never have to make a Google form again because you just tell your agent what you want and it does it. Um, but yeah, so just to answer your question, Jan, in terms of what I would get a subscription for is Claude. That's just because that's what I like. I like the Claude Code interface. They also have Claude Cowork, um, which is able to do stuff agentically as well. So go out and look things up for you. But that's just a little bonus. Claude Code's been really strong. It's all going to change though so much. So the biggest thing is just picking one and sticking with it. People will use and prefer the 5.4 codex model Um, and the reason is right now, particularly ChatGPT is at a pretty bad spot in terms of market share. Right after the whole debacle with Department of War and Anthropic turning them down, but OpenAI taking on the deal, it's just put Anthropic at the top on the consumer side. And to win over the devs, at least I've noticed that the Codex models have much higher usage, and they're trying to, you know, have a reason for these devs to switch back to Codex and be on the ChatGPT. So they're in a little duopoly, right? Coke versus Pepsi, and gonna have to keep playing back and forth. So one will be good one week, one will be better the next. I would just say pick one and stick with it. I picked Claude. That's me. ChatGPT doesn't matter. Whatever. It's again, right? If we're talking about it's a tool in your toolbox. Do you want the wrench or the screwdriver? I think I said that wrong, but really, what matters isn't the tool; it's you how you use it. Um,
Yeah,
so
definitely. And one thing about AI is I think you need to know how you're doing it even without AI. And AI is just here to speed it up and leverage your productivity.
exactly. And then Rayon asked if you um, give it its own email as an alternative to Telegram. Probably. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I have mine actually. It has access to a Gmail account that I made for it. It was like Marcus the AI agent at gmail.com if you want to email Marcus. Um, but yeah, so it's able to set up that. It also has a Gmail or Google authentication set up within it. So it has access to GitHub and some of the things on its own separate account, which I'm able to then go to my GitHub account and add Marcus as a collaborator on the projects and just be able to, do texting from my phone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Although I do see currently the shift being Anthropic is trying to make their own products similar in capacity to OpenClaw. What I mean by that is they're enabling things like remote access for Claude Code, right? They saw, hey, look, people are able to now use OpenClaw and develop from their phones. Let's let some, people be able to do the exact same thing, but on our software, right? Let's let them
Mm-hmm.
be able to update with Claude Code, but they have to be on the Claude app, right? So we see Claude Code and Claude and Anthropic really more generally trying to be the AI agent in the LLM space, but
Mm-hmm.
OpenClaw is just there right now. So I do see actually Anthropic taking over even further in that
Because
as it.
Hunter, for me the main thing is like I saw ChatGPT Premium, it gets unlimited message and that's all I want. But I saw the Claude, there's like a 2,000 credit limit. So
Yeah, so that's the
I
problem is
just
people will hit
yeah.
rate limits when they're using Claude Code. That's what happened to me. I was using it, I was coding, and then boom, hey, you can't use it
Yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, nah. And for me, it was worth it. It's like what, $100 a month. That might sound crazy, but hey, look, I'm gonna cancel my ChatGPT. I'm gonna cancel my V0, right? Some of these other more niche things I was already paying for because Claude just did it all, right? It was kind of like an all-in-one, just the
Wait,
best possible value. Yeah,
Hunter, what do you think about, for example, like I'm because for me, I'm a bit more like biased onto GPT since I just used it from the start, and I actually tried hopping onto Claude a bit. I feel like for example, like English analysis is better, but like for the other parts, it's just like I feel like GPT memorizes your persona better and like it fits into the. That's from my take though.
yeah. Well, and exactly. And if you like stuff like that, then by all means, go with the GPT. I'd recommend checking both out and then
Mm-hmm.
making a decision of this is what I want to stay with. Again, Gemini's still in the game as well, right? We're going to see some stuff coming out with them. I bet they're going to release a new model here soon. I mean, again, it's just so much to change. Um, but
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably going to get like my first AI subscription, my first subscription in anything actually.
oh
I
wow.
haven't got a subscription yet. So let's see how I think I would. I can either go for like one chat GBT, for example, $30, and and the other nothing. But I can also go like $15 to $15. So I have to be in like $30 budget.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to try and split it. I'd just go all in on one, whatever that may be. It's just going to be better. It'll keep memory of who you are and what you like. Um, but I mean, also, yeah, do some more research yourself. Ask ChatGPT. Say, ChatGPT, should I switch to Claude? See what it says. That won't be
Cool.
biased
Wait,
at all.
let's go for that. Let me just share my screen right now. It's actually
It definitely will not be biased. Don't worry.
Let's see. ChatGPT. Wait, should I purchase
Yeah, exactly. Right on.
Premium or Cloud Premium? Okay.
Here, Jan, you want to send me the same chat and I'll put it in my Claude
Sure.
if you want to drop in the chat.
I'll just, yep. Private chat. There you go.
All right, sweet. And then yeah, I'll just pop my screen up. This is a cool science experiment. This will be a good LinkedIn post if someone wants to throw this up.
Yeah, I might make one because I feel like it's just like, again, perspectives and then like a unconsciousness bias.
Is my
I
screen
love.
up? I don't know if it's.
Not yet. Okay, I can see it. Okay.
I just
Wait,
took it
wait.
down. I'm gonna pop it back.
Okay. Yep, I see it. What does it say? Honestly, he's a.
So I mean, it might be a little bit biased here on both sides, right?
Wait. Let's go on and ask Gemini on Claude.
Because you think Gemini would be
Imagine if Gemini says like, okay, ChatGPT is good in this, but Claude is good in this, but you should
but
choose.
Gemini is even better.
Yeah.
Wait, did it just not? It just didn't take it. It's just like no.
Let's see.
Here, and I'll do one that's
Oh.
And honestly, I do have to actually agree with Gemini here. So like personally, I'm on Claude just for the software side.
Gotcha.
Like in terms of all-in-one, like you can't use image gen on Claude. I don't think. Like I don't think there's an ability for you to generate images with Claude, right? And that's a big piece that comes with the subscription. I'm pretty sure you can use Google Nano Banana though for free. Yeah, but still.
Okay.
So,
yeah, thanks for your time, Hunter. Very enjoyed the sharing a lot today. And definitely if the viewers, if you haven't checked out like these different AI models or like even Claude bot, definitely give it a try. And just explore different like new things, and staying in the loop is one of the key things you can do in this like really rapidly developing technology era. And just yeah, Hunter, any last tips or like suggestions
I
for
would
like.
say that that's a pretty good wrap up there, Jan. What I'll say, don't use AI for your LinkedIn posts. It makes me mad. I can see my GPT-0 extension shows me every time there's an AI generated post, AI polished.
Sorry,
It's
I want
good.
to cut it. Just
Go
do
for
not
it.
GB0. Our school teacher uses it to catch people and
Actually,
it catches 90% of people. But for
it
me,
works really well. Yeah.
it doesn't work because that's a big, like a little small tip I use, but everything I do is like 0% AI. Why? I use AI, I put it on the search bar, I type it in, and then I just don't copy and paste it. I type it in with my own.
Really? You've noticed that it's better?
No, it's zero AI detected then.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah.
But you have to just type, you need to spend more time on that. So
For sure. So yeah, just like guys, don't use AI to write your LinkedIn posts, or if you do, at least put it in GPT-0 and make sure it doesn't say it's AI, because I'll see it and I'll be like, and be upset. Yeah, check out
don't
agents.
call
They're
your
pretty
AI
sweet.
an agent.
That's the
Yeah.
future. I'm working on everything inside the space. I find it really interesting. Hopefully, I didn't blabber too much and was coherent enough.
It's great.
But yeah,
Wait, Hunter, I'm not sure. We got a Solace AI Solace giveaway if you guys are watching, so make sure to check it out. It's I'll extend it like 1 more hour, and if you haven't, just go follow Solace. It's just like a locked in giveaway. So for the AI robots, have
yeah,
you
that's
checked it out?
awesome. I did a little look at myself, not too
Oh,
much.
okay, okay, all good. But yeah, have a great one and see you in Wednesday's workshop where we'll be having Ayan, a professional, very winning hackathon guy, coming in to like give us a workshop on how to build your first AI agent and talking through like the coding fundamentals. Make sure you have those like what's that cursor
Yep.
get the free cursor premium with free trial and then have a good idea of that, and Hunter, Mikey, and me, Ben, would be there. And yeah, have a nice one.
Yeah, nice talking to you, Jen. See ya.
See you, Hunter. Bye.